with AI, your creativity is endless. You can literally write, you can create with words now. You can create videos with words and photos. Have people who don't even have any background of storytelling or filmmaking just type in something that is funny and hilarious, and they can make, they can monetize off of it.
And that was always like an impossible task,
Mm.
right? You could not just simply turn a giraffe around, and now you basically can. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Swift Start Go, the only show where you get to talk to me, Carolyn Swift Holden, all about AI and anything that I really found interesting this week. And this week, we have a really special guest who I'm so excited to introduce you to. His name is Kevin Boeing. He is a young filmmaker fresh out of the University of Minnesota, right?
Yes, the University of Minnesota, graduated last year, so a year out of it.
Yeah, with an absolutely spectacular portfolio, who has used every single different AI video tool for free, every single freebie versions that he can think of. And I'm so excited to hear more, especially as a former film major and somebody who just really loves art. So, Kevin, could you take a quick moment to introduce yourself to our audience? Is there anything else we should know about you?
Of course, yeah. Hello, audience. My name is Kevin Boeing. I'm a multidiscipline creative out here in the Twin Cities. I've been creating for the past 5 years now, and pursuing my business for the last year now. So everything's been going smoothly. We do creative production. We do a lot of photography, videography, commercial production, and we're looking to step foot into the AI arena for good now. As the times are changing with technology. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that aspect too.
Amazing. Well, my first question for you today is, how has AI changed about the way that you think about storytelling and filming? Has like your process dramatically changed? Has it remained largely the same? I'm curious, how has AI impacted your work in a filmmaking context?
Yeah, AI has a big impact on the filmmaking context. Because now I'm sure a lot of people know that, AI can't fully mimic what humans can do, and humans can't, do what AI can do as quickly and as efficiently. So, just considering that, you make videos with the camera and you go into edit it and stuff like that. There's a lot of different avenues you can go down now where the editing, where AI now just cuts the videos for you for the best that will be for your viewer that you're trying to reach, and they actually edit the videos for you now. So it makes a lot of the work makes the work load a lot easier, and more efficient, a lot quicker, and also a lot cheaper too for a lot of different production companies and the production studios. So for me personally, it has definitely affected the way I create different things, because now with AI, your creativity is endless. You can literally write, you can create with words now. You can create videos with words and photos. So now I'm in the process of making a lot of different videos and photos just off of a basic prompt, and expanding my creativity. So now I make a video of a bird flying over a volcano. And it's just like, well, how can you ever get that shot without paying hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get there, and use the right equipment for stuff like that. So it has definitely expanded creativity, my creativity personally, and it just makes what's really possible endless.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about what you would need if you were to get that kind of an image, right? I know when I was working in advertising at McCann, I was going through a ton of stock footage
Yeah.
on a regular basis, trying to hope that maybe we would have the right image, or the right video clip that we could throw in there that matched what our clients wanted.
Yeah.
And, or even, there was always the joke of, a client saying, "Oh, I really love this photo of a giraffe, but can you Photoshop it so he's turning around and facing us instead of facing away?"
Yeah.
And that was always like an impossible task,
Mm.
right? You could not just simply turn a giraffe around, and now you basically can
Yep.
effectively, right?
Yep, exactly that. And even if you could do it, it just wouldn't be very the best thing to do. Time consuming. And you have to have an immaculate skill level for that. Just doing that itself. But just now we're collaborating with motion and video. So now you
Yeah.
can have a picture where you throw into AI, and then you can make the giraffe turn around and even talk to you. So
Yeah.
that's on a wider scale also. So like now it's making that, like you said, making it more possible to do things like that. And a lot of people who use these Photoshops, they'll be sweet, really understand that it's really time consuming to be editing a lot of intricate designs, and it's very tedious, having different
Yeah.
layers and different steps and stuff like that. So just having the ability to throw it into AI and make that giraffe turn around and become live like through just AI
Mhm.
generation is very spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what are all these free tools? I remember when we spoke last week, you said that you had tried every single AI free tool you could get your hands on. I'm curious, what are the tools you've been using for filmmaking and how are you using them in your process?
uh,
I'm
yeah.
just curious, like, and maybe if you like have a favorite, like which ones are your favorites?
The one I really started out with, that was, well, a lot of AI generating softwares and applications are paid for, but they give you a free trial.
Yeah.
So the free trial that I really started out with was Helly, I think what it's called, Helly AI, and
Yeah.
I've generated a few photos with that. I've had a few photos from my camera roll that I actually imported as a reference photo, and then I just typed in a prompt, and it made that photo come to life and actually move based on the prompt that I told it. The next one that I actually utilized was Firefly, and that's within the Adobe Suite. So
Yeah.
if you're already a subscriber to the Adobe Suite, they grant you about 12,000 credits to keep generating photos, and they're actually expanding into better video generation with those credits also. So once those credits
Mhm.
run out, now you have to pay for more. So I kept
Yeah.
practicing and practicing with that software that I used, which
Mhm.
was Firefly, Adobe Firefly, and it gave me some good photos. But as you know, the more you spend, the better quality that you get. So I had to move on to Google VO3, which is
Yeah.
becoming very popular now, and it's becoming a lot easier for people to make these videos that are very, high resolution, hyper focused, and makes people laugh also, because you can create a prompt which allows people to say things, which we will see later with a few of the videos that I sent you earlier.
Yeah.
So Sora AI, Sora AI is one of the softwares that I really want to get into, but that's more on the expensive side, and that's very good quality. But VO3 is really where the base is right now, and they actually grant you a free trial and about 1,000 credits to get into the AI space.
Super, super sweet. Yeah, I've been meaning to try VO3. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I think I saw a headline yesterday that Midjourney just launched a brand new tool, a new video tool this week, right?
Yep, 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 exactly. They did,
Have you
and
gotten a chance to play with that one yet, or is that just a little too soon?
that's a little too soon. I haven't been able to actually get into Midjourney because I wasn't able to get a free trial.
Right.
So once I really, like, right now, this is really the experimental stage of these softwares to really understand which is better for me, that I'm actually going to put money into.
Mhm.
Um, so as you can see, these softwares are being released back to back to back, and I feel like it's very competitive for the AI general world right now for production, creative production, because people are releasing all type of AIs that are a lot smoother, that have more creative aspects to it, and that generate better quality. So it's like, I feel like once as you can see, Google is like a bigger conglomerate that has a lot more money to spend on these AI softwares. So I just feel like once we start to mellow down and AI starts to become more fluent within our society,
Mhm.
we'll have the ones that we find pick and like some, yes, this is something that we can use, and it'll be on a wider range also.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a look at some of these clips. I think I saw something about a gorilla on a subway.
Yes,
What do we have here? Can you walk
yes.
us through some of these?
Yes, I can walk you through some of those for sure. So, I was just being creative and just really expanding my the uniqueness to my creativity. Actually having no limits. So now, the first one that we have here is a Bigfoot, and the prompt
Mhm.
was having a Bigfoot stand there on the side of a train tracks. A train. There is like trains going behind it with people in it. So then
Mhm.
there's like a little bit of error there, as you can see. It kind of shows the background of New York or the city that he's currently in through
Yeah.
the spaces of the trains. So that's also a faulty aspect of the generation that I've made. But the thing
Yeah.
that's to fix it is really to keep generating. So you use these AI tools just as you will use ChatGPT. You give ChatGPT more prompts, they understand how the person is who is giving the prompts. So now I'm sitting here, I'm continuing to generate, to critique my prompt and really change what is in my prompt step by step, and you come out with a better resolution and a better, more realistic video that you were looking for in general.
Yeah. How have you been improving your prompts, like to make sure like you only get a certain amount of credits in order to use all these free trials? What have you been doing to make sure that your prompts are like as slick as possible?
What I've been doing to actually hone in on my prompts is use very descriptive language.
Yeah.
So like for that one, it was for the Bigfoot one, it was a large hairy Bigfoot wearing blue jeans and a green vest, standing on a New York City subway platform, waiting calmly for the train. Go into a lot more the urban settings and realistic
Yeah.
tiled walls, graffiti. So now you kind of place yourself in this space of where you want your prompt to be, or where you want your character to be in, and this is where I placed them. And it brings the pictorial aspect to it. You just have to bring the prompts to it as you continue to get better at prompting.
Which one out of all of these do you think is your favorite?
My favorite is the leprechaun one,
Yeah.
because as I was prompting, I really understood that you're able to put audio behind the video that you have too, by just allowing this, just telling the prompt to say, have the person or have the leprechaun say this, and
Yeah.
for that one, it was a leprechaun waiting for the train, and now he's running after the train saying, "Hey, wait up, wait up, wait up."
Wait, wait! Stop the train!
As you can see within that video, his feet are kind of messed up, and it's kind of like out of figure, kind of wacky, with the
Mhm.
consistency basis of it. So that's the main aspect, is the consistency part of the AI, because you can generate something, but now you're trying to tell a story, and it's harder to get that consistent look and that consistent figure in there once you change the scenery to the next scene of the video you're trying to make.
Yeah. Which tools do you think are doing the best at this? Is it VO3 or is it Sora? Like, do you have one that you prefer over the others when it comes to trying to use it for storytelling, especially for like multiple clips and keeping things consistent?
Mhm. Yeah, there's actually a great one, which is Sora AI. Sora AI is really good.
Mhm.
Sora AI is, I think, the AI gen of ChatGPT is connected to
Yep,
ChatGPT.
it's OpenAI's. Yeah.
It's open AI. It's a great software to use, and it's very good quality. And I would say the one under that is VO3. VO3
Mhm.
does a great job with audio, with voiceovers, and different things like that. So as I've been using it, VO3 and Sora AI are the softwares that allow creators to have an easier route with the prompts and with the quality of video that they're trying to make. There's a software called Kling AI, and that's more from China, and they're competing
Yeah.
with the smaller software, the smaller applications like Helly AI, and a little bit of VO3 also, but they're not really on the scale of Sora AI, which is a great software to use.
So we've talked about all of these different AI tools for creating AI generated video, but I'm curious how AI has changed film production in general. Because I know you don't just do AI film production; you also, do the real deal, old school, making videos and films and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much of that process has changed versus remained the same for you.
For me personally, filmmaking has changed a lot for me, because I'm actually looking to go fully immersed into the AI space, because I understand, the how important it would be in the future, in the next 5 to 10 years. So if I can even use these kind of softwares, which I would say these are like surface level softwares, but they have
Yeah.
other softwares that you're able to put in different. It's called like Flux and Redux. So those are more like the technical softwares that you're able to put photos in, and then they'll generate them for you. But those are more complicated softwares, which I think
Yeah.
a lot of corporate users will use in the future. But changing just my profession as of now, I'm looking to go fully immersed into the AI space. But for other companies like ad agencies, Best Buy and stuff like that, they're more worried about the copyright aspect and the authenticity of AI itself, because you can be disinformed, misinformed with AI now, because now it looks more realistic. You get news, you can get a news broadcast made of AI and people will believe it. So it's like, now it's just like the regulation of these things that are being showed to people, which will really change the film industry and how corporate level businesses will use these tools.
Yeah. And what a perfect pivot to my next section, which is like, yeah, do you think people are ready for misinformation? I wrote an article in my newsletter a couple of weeks ago, basically saying, no, nobody is ready. And that VO3 in particular, there was something about getting the AI generated audio for me that made me realize, oh, this is the real deal. And I didn't fall for a video for long, but I did see something on my Instagram which was designed to capture your attention, right?
Mhm.
Where the video basically opens with, "Oh, we have Canadian soldiers at the US border, like tune in right here." And then it goes like, "Sorry, grandma, this was generated by AI." And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there was like a 20-second moment where I was like, "Is this real?" And then I was like, "Oh, no. Okay." but it was I'm somebody who pays attention to the space, right? And I haven't fallen for most of the videos, but that one I did, even
yeah,
though it was designed to do that. I'm curious what your thoughts are when it comes to people and misinformation for video. Like
yeah.
this seems pretty bad to me. I don't know about you, but
Mhm. Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. It's definitely scary because, you have to understand now the younger generation, our generation, and the younger generation is really what's going to be tapped into AI. So, our elders are the ones that are going to be really, nitpicky about what to really expect from AI and what they really see, considering that they're not really as technological advanced as the younger generation. So, just considering that, something can be shown and, you'll be misled by it. Even on Instagram, they have you have to say that this is generated by AI, so people
yeah,
can understand that this is from a tool used by somebody to prompt different words and utilize that video to the best of their
yeah.
ability. But
YouTube has that too, but how many people are actually going to click that button? Like bad actors, Like
right,
that's all like you have to click in to basically say, yeah, this is good. Like,
mhm.
I made this with AI, huh? Like, not
Yeah,
everyone's going to be clicking that button.
exactly. And for them, and once you click on that video that's generated by AI, now it's kind of in fine print where you see this is generated by AI. So I feel like it's a lot of the media presence that has to take action upon these misleading informations more than usual, more than
Mhm.
before actually now, because you know it's just getting very, very gritty out here with what's real and what's not, and you just have to decide for that for yourself as you get used to the technology and the AI that's being advanced so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And earlier you also mentioned how ad agencies and other creatives have been really torn about AI due to copyright,
Yeah,
originality, things like that. I think there was an announcement. I saw an article yesterday about how Google and YouTube just admitted that all of the videos that are on YouTube have been used in their AI training, which I feel like I've known for a very long time. I think most people in the AI space feel like they've known that for a long time, but it came as a bit of a surprise for
yeah.
artists. But
Mhm.
I'm curious, how do you feel about that when creating this work? Um, and that negative perception among artists in particular?
Yeah, I actually spoke with an editor that was at one of the ad agencies out here, and
Mhm.
she specified that the biggest thing is the legal action and
Mhm.
copyright. So now you have YouTube and different what's the word?
Oh, like LLMs, AI
Yeah,
models? Yeah,
AI models where they're utilizing other people's videos and other people's faces to create a video. So it would never be somebody. It's very rare where it's somebody that you recognize when you create a prompt just from words, but it just
yeah,
shows that there's a possibility of copyright and authenticity within the things that are being generated because it's all pulled from a pool of videos that are already made. So it's kind of like you can't make nothing, you can't make something out of nothing. It has to
yeah.
be something seen before it's like, okay, this is how things work. So that's definitely a very interesting topic also.
Do your peers have mixed feelings about AI in the arts? Like, what are you seeing among your friends? Because I know my friends are very anti-AI.
Mhm.
My artist friends, so like my comedy friends and my filmmaking friends from LA back in the day, it's fairly unanimous,
Mhm.
but we're also, I'm in my 30s at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious, if there's a bit of a generational gap here or if this is more of like an industry thing. So just curious what your experience has been.
Yeah, I've mixed of both experiences. Like I've asked my elders also, like what do they feel about AI, and they're more scared, but some of them are more interested in it. But the people that are more interested are the people who are more in computer technology, software
Yeah.
and stuff like that, who are already advancing as the technology advances. And it's very interesting that you asked that because I also had friends who enjoy consuming the content that AI has generated.
Yeah.
They're not really necessarily into creating or utilizing those tools that are given to them, but they're more interested in consuming the media and the generated prompts that are being fed to them also. So I've had young people also say that like they're scared and they're going to come over
Yeah.
here and take their jobs. But what I will say is that what's going to come take the people's jobs is the people that are using AI, not necessarily AI itself, because AI has to be utilized to perform these actions. And if it's not doing that, then we'll be in a position where we'll be doing better than AI. In a lot of different spaces, but the people who are using AI will come for the jobs rather than people who are not using AI.
What do you hope happens? Because I think in the creative space in particular, I think the fear of job loss is sharper there than maybe in other industries. And I
Yeah,
think part of that is a lot of the creative tools for AI came out earlier than, things for necessarily for marketing or something like that, right? Or for data anal. Everything came out around the same time, but I feel like so many artists I know have taken it very personally, and I feel like it's something to do with, oh, now the techies are making art. Like, what's up with that? Like,
yeah.
something about like encroaching on the space, but I don't know. I'm just curious. What do you feel like the future holds? Because I look
Mm,
at some industries where I don't think much is going to change, right? Like, I don't think uh, I really don't think that much will change for writers. I think writers are going to keep writing,
yeah.
and that human generated content is going to be better than AI generated content, or at least like a collaboration there. But I also know for animation in particular, which is really a craft that has involved thousands of people. Now, you really don't need that same number of people to create the same type of work. I don't know.
Mhm.
What do you think when it comes to what the future? I know you're fresh out of college, so what do necessarily know about the future of work? But I'm curious what you're thinking from your perspective.
From my perspective, what I hope to happen is that, like, I think you used the term last time we spoke is like a creative technologist or, uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I hope to have more creatives merge with the technology that's advancing so they don't get left behind in different softwares like Photoshop and, DaVinci Resolve, which is also going to be utilized for sure. But as time goes on, there's going to be easier ways to make these videos and edit these videos based off things that are said and prompted. And the second thing that I hope to happen, number two, is that, these softwares that are being developed become mandatory to be utilized within the corporate world. You know
Yeah.
how, a job description asks you to use DaVinci Resolve, Photoshop, and Adobe Suite. Now, I'm starting as I apply to more positions that are AI based. I'm seeing more, softwares like VO3, Sora AI, Flux, Redux, and things like that that are more technical and can also enhance the creativity that's being done. And I feel like it would be a plus to utilize the Adobe Suite and different editing softwares, and also take that creativity and don't get left behind, with using those softwares, and also utilize the ones that are new, because those are going to be here. Those aren't going anywhere. Yeah, so that's what I hope to do is, I mean, I hope what happen is that it becomes integrated within the corporate world, and a lot of people start moving on to the creative technologist positioning within society.
Yeah. I think the other thing that a lot of artists are maybe underestimating, I think a lot of people are comparing this to, especially in the film world, when film went from, taking reels of film and cutting them with scissors and taping them together and gluing them together, from like going to digital editing. I think that was such a massive shift that it was really hard for people of that generation to make that change. But with this, I feel like the production of making things is now so much easier. Like it's writing a text prompt, or taking tools that are very similar to what you've used for years, and just like adapting how you use them a little bit. Like,
Yep.
to me, the learning curve doesn't seem to be as extreme
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Um, do you agree with that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Because I was just talking with somebody the other day. I'm like, now the fact that these things are so easy to learn just off of a few words and a few sentences, maybe a paragraph, that you generate this crazy video that a production might have like hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. Is going to kind of saturate the industry, because now you have people who don't even have any background of storytelling or filmmaking, just type in something that is funny and hilarious, and they can make they can monetize off of it and go on Instagram and get many millions of followers. And now they have taught themselves to do that to the best of their ability, and now they're considered the basically the new age filmmakers and the new age content creators. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting how that'll take a turn too, because now it's like it's a lot easier to use and more people are going to use it. So then the harder
Mhm.
it is, less people are going to use it. But it's like it's all over the internet now. VO3, Sora, and different softwares like that, and it's these accounts that are being made by random people just putting in the craziest prompts that are getting the most views. So a lot less work for more reward at this point, and I feel like a lot of people can utilize it and take advantage of it to the best of their ability.
Yeah. But then that said, like if you are an artist and you have been in the space for a long time, and so you know what it means to make good content, I still think you, even if you're new to the actual AI tools, I do think you have one leg up over everybody else,
Yeah.
people who might be doing this from scratch and have never taken a film class before, never understood how to like tell a story, or like how to frame a shot or something like that. I feel like I understand like the fear around this, but I also think that, and I also understand the frustration over copyright, which I think is extremely valid. But at the same time, I also feel like this opens up the opportunity for so many more people to make the films that we've all been waiting for,
Yeah.
right? To make more rom-coms, to make more indie films.
Mm.
Like, what I keep telling artists is like, now is the best possible time to like build your own studio.
Yeah.
And because you don't need the big studios anymore. You don't even need the big distributors anymore. Like, more people watch YouTube than anything else in the world,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to be seeing a pretty massive shift in like the old guard to like, who are the new companies? What is the new way of creating art? And that now is an incredible time to buid a business, even if you are an artist who's never like learned those business skills before, you can ask ChatGPT for help, right? So that's been my argument lately. But I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think it's a great shift, to be honest. Also, just how, as you spoke upon earlier, how AI changed my direction. Previously, within the last year, I actually collaborated with a media company out here. We made a short form commercial content, and to get those out, you have to have the right stuff and the right things and time first and foremost. So, that was a great to do, and I would love to do it again. But as of now, like you said, other people, it's a lot easier to make content, and it's a lot easier to, it's the footage that we've all been waiting for, the indie films and things like that. So I think I'll utilize that to the best of my ability, more than I'll utilize me, picking up a camera and going, to have a 12-hour long day and model call and then location scouting, stuff like that. So I'll take that over. I'll take AI Gen over that any day, and I actually saw a AI Gen software. I think, I'm not too sure what the name is, but they actually make like animation, like cartoons.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. Now, you have situations where VO3 by Google Flow by Google has a um, a, um, a whole page called Flow TV, I think, and you can just
Yeah.
scroll, basically like a media. You can just literally scroll through everything that everybody has been generating, and it's always new things to look at, high quality.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And I think earlier you mentioned hoping for more creative techie kind of jobs. Like I
Mm.
always describe myself as a creative technologist, someone who uses a lot of tech tools to create things, whether that's products or marketing or content, things like that.
Yeah.
Um, and so I don't know, when you said that earlier, I know I'm jumping back a little bit, but I feel like that really resonated with me. And I think a lot of creatives also aren't necessarily encouraged to think of like different types of careers, especially in the tech space. I don't know about you if that's been different for you, but it took me a long time to realize that there was a space where I could fit in tech, whereas I just kind of figured I'd be a broke comedian forever. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know what you think, but I think AI opens doors for creative people to actually maybe take the lead in making better products, period, whether it's apps or new tools. What do you think?
Yep, I agree with that for sure. Apps, new tools, those are all aspects that can really enhance the creatives, direction.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you saw it, but Nike, and Travis Scott, I think it was Nike and Travis Scott, they made a commercial, and um, majority of it was like virtual VFX and AI gen. And the creative director who really generated the footage within that commercial in that spot generated 5,000 um, prompts, or he had
Wow.
one prompt and he generated 5,000 of them, over and over and over again. So it was like, it's definitely time consuming. But me personally, I would enjoy to be in a space like that where I can just, hone in on creative aspects and switch the little things out that are within the prompt, that I'm trying to make for the commercial spot. So that was very interesting to hear. And, you can really understand that it's just not 1 to 10 prompts. Maybe you might get it in the first 10, but
Yeah.
5,000 is like, wow, you're there for hours, and it pays. It pays. I'll say this quickly. I was actually searching for online jobs, and I think
Yeah.
they said, I saw like AI, creative production was making, over $100,000 for an entry position, and you just have to
Yeah.
know how to create the story that they're trying to tell you. If a brand has an image or a value, you have to complete
Mhm.
that, in the best way you can with the software that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I have a few questions for you before we wrap up. You ready?
For sure, yeah.
All right. So, what is the weirdest or most unexpected way you've used AI in a film project, whether it's generating AI or something behind the scenes?
The most, I would say the most odd way that I use AI was my first generation of AI was my brother in the gym. So he was lifting weights, and I told the prompt, I'm like, he's a weight trainer lifting weights in front of a huge crowd, and they're all clapping for him. And it was the worst. It was the worst prompt that I ever said, but the bar was like extra. It was too long. Everything was off. But I probably said that was the weirdest one, and I'm probably not gonna put my any more family members into AI Gen because it's like what. So it's kind of odd for that. I'd rather see random faces than familiar faces. So that was probably the weirdest thing I've done
Yeah.
with AI Gen.
I've had the same reaction, not for video, but for images, where I'll ask chat to like update an image of me or create an image of me. And I think it's just it doesn't have enough images to base off of me, and I kind of just don't want it to know. Like I'm like a little, I don't know how I feel about you having my face in your database.
Exactly.
I assume it's already there somewhere, but like every time it makes an image of me that does not look like me, it
Oh,
just looks like it, and I don't. There's something like so repulsive about it where I'm just like, oh, no, I can't look at that. What is that face? Like it
literally.
looks like a perfectly realistic person, but it doesn't look like me.
Mhm.
And it doesn't. I think it also doesn't look like how I see myself
Yeah.
either. I don't know. There's just something like
Yeah.
so jarring about it.
Yep. And that's interesting that you say that because maybe that's an aspect of the copyright or the authenticity. Because now you
Mm,
get a photo and maybe it may look too much like you. And you're like, oh my gosh, where did you get
yeah,
this from? Or, something like that. And they're like, hey, we can't have it look exactly like you, but we can have it look similar to you so you don't have any authenticity problems or just copyright.
interesting. So
Yeah.
you think that's a feature, not a bug?
Possibly, because
Yeah.
I've actually generated a few photos you give them a photo, but they change the photo, but whatever's in the photo, like the clothing, the background, and everything else is the
Yeah, they
same.
always
Really,
change a
yeah,
bunch of things.
yeah, So it's like the only thing that really changes the most is the face. So I'm not too sure because AI is really good at making faces, and if you give them a photo
Yeah,
to reference from, there's no way they can really destroy the face or distort it, considering as
yeah.
much
Except mine, apparently.
Yeah. So I've also fallen into that bucket where it doesn't look anything like what I generated, but um,
Yeah.
I guess close enough.
One of my thumbnails for one of my recent podcast episodes, I did use AI because I wanted to have like AR goggles on one of my guests because he was talking about augmented reality and whatnot.
Mhm.
And that one we actually filmed in person, and it was interesting because there were a few times where it created an image where it looked really close to like him, but not exactly like him. But when I was like, oh, just put glasses on him, it ended up looking super similar. And I was like, okay, interesting. Like it's like when we took out the eyes and made it so you could not see them, that it was comfortable with
Interesting.
like being more accurate. I don't know.
Interesting.
It was
Yeah.
interesting to play around with. And that's not video, of course. That's just image generation, which is mostly what I've been up to. I haven't been doing the video stuff like I should be.
Yeah, that is interesting, yeah, the eye aspect too, because it's harder to really, um, recognize somebody when the eyes are covered up. So that
Yeah.
makes sense too. Wow, that's interesting. I might look into that and play around with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So next question is, if you could build your own dream AI tool, something that doesn't exist yet,
Mm.
what would it do?
If I could build my own AI tool, that's a great question, actually.
Yeah. It could also be like, what are the different AI video tools missing right now that would be game changing for you? Other
Um,
than making them all free, of course.
You know, yeah, because a lot of them out there are already making photo and video, but I'll probably
Mhm.
do something with clothing for sure, because that's like
Hmm.
a hobby that I like. I'll probably make a creative AI tool that can actually generate different kinds of clothing, and
Mhm.
have its own creative way based on what's already out here, considering that you can add these clothings to the database and, you know, ask the AI tool to just make something that's totally different that people will like, and you will actually target your consumers directly off of this AI software, and it will understand everything to the fullest to help you grow your business, your clothing business, and
Yeah,
reach proper audience. So that's something actually I will do. It's something with fashion for sure.
very cool. I love that so much. All right. And so if you had a zero dollar budget right now
Mhm.
and wanted to make a short film with only AI tools, how would you go about this? And this would be, yeah, short film, could just be a quick TikTok, a few seconds long.
Mhm.
What um what tools would you use, and like what would you make?
The first thing first, I'll probably make I'll say a basketball commercial. So the first thing I'll start out with is, the players from Sora AI or VO3, just to get the visuals in there. There's alternate softwares that you can use also, but these are the most quality that are, the most popular as of now. So I would get the video from there, download it, and see how the audio sounds within these softwares also. But there's a few other AI tools that are better with audio. So then I'll take that video and go to another tool and import that video and actually utilize the audio from a different tool rather than Sora AI and VO3. And then I'll utilize that and make them talk as much as I want to. From there, I'll go into um, my probably Final Cut, as I've made, or DaVinci Resolve, as I've made over 4 to 5 8-second shots, piece them together, see if I can do a little bit of color grading, bring the creative aspect from my mind out, and then post it. So I'll probably use a few funnels just to get the right look also, and tell a longer story that people can resonate with.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yes.
If people want to chat with you, guys, you can hire Kevin. He's a phenomenal filmmaker,
Yeah.
and willing to work wherever. Doesn't have to be here in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
But Kevin, if people want to find you, if they want to work with you or Whatzfit Studios, how do they reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram, Whatzfit Studios, WHATZFIT Studios, and you'll see a lot of the work that we have on there. I'm currently making or building a Instagram social media page for just my AI generations, just to practice and post, and then I'll bring it to Whatzfit Studios too. And I have a lot of different personal videos in my vault too, so we can chat online about those too.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you, everybody, for watching. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. Or we're so happy that you are here to join us today. If you want to find more from Swift Start Go, our little brand here, please check out our Substack or find me on LinkedIn. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
See you guys.
This show has been brought to you by Cirrus North. Does your organization need a better partner for cloud, DevOps, security, and compliance? Cirrus North is a team of software professionals with a passion for cloud solutions, DevOps, automation, Kubernetes, and streamlining complex business problems. They are 100% US-based in Minnesota and Chicago, have deep experience supporting mission-critical technology operations in highly regulated environments, and have delivered success for startups and for companies on the Fortune 5. Interested? Reach out to the team at cirrusnorth.io. That's cirrusnorth.io. Thanks, Cirrus North.